Have you ever been using an app on your phone, one that's usually amazing, and then all of a sudden it just feels fragile? One second it's working perfectly, the next it's glitchy and slow. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the hidden traps in software that cause those super frustrating moments.
All right, let's just dive right in with a question that, let's be honest, has probably driven all of us a little crazy at some point.
You know that feeling, right? You tap a button and crickets. The app just hangs there, spinning. You know it's not your Wi-Fi, so what is actually going on under the hood? This is the exact mystery we're here to solve. Okay, so to really get this, we need a good analogy. I want you to picture a massive, sprawling city. But instead of just a few giant skyscrapers, this city is made up of thousands of smaller, specialized buildings. In the tech world, we call these microservices. Each one has a very specific job. One handles your login, another processes payments, another sends you notifications. For the city to work, they all have to cooperate flawlessly.
But here's the thing. Just like in a real city, poor planning can lead to absolute disaster. We're talking gridlock, power outages, the whole shebang. In the world of software design, these common, yet really destructive choices are called anti-patterns. And trust me, they are the villains of our story.
Now, let's be super clear about what an anti-pattern is. It's not just a bad idea. It's a bad idea that kind of looks like a good idea at first glance. It's that tempting shortcut, that quick fix that seems to solve a problem right now, but ends up creating way bigger, way nastier problems later on.
And here's our first villain, the distributed monolith. This one's a classic. It's like building a city full of what are supposed to be independent buildings, but then you secretly connect all their plumbing and electrical systems together. They might look separate from the outside, but if one has a problem, they all go dark.
And that right there, that's the whole issue. It completely defeats the entire purpose of building with microservices in the first place. You go through all the trouble of making them independent, but this anti-pattern ties them all together, creating this incredibly fragile system where one little failure can cause a cascade.
All right, on to our next troublemaker. Chatty microservices. Just imagine every single building in our city needing to call every other building for every tiny little task. The phone lines would be jammed instantly, right? Well, that's exactly what happens when your software services communicate way too much for things that should be simple.
And the real-world impact of this is huge. All that nonstop chatter creates these massive digital traffic jams, which is why your app suddenly feels like it's wading through molasses. And even worse, it creates a domino effect. One service slows down just a little, and it holds up every other service it's talking to, grinding the whole system to a halt.
And believe me, the rogues gallery doesn't stop there. You've got these nightmares called spaghetti architecture, which is exactly what it sounds like, a tangled, chaotic mess of connections that's almost impossible for anyone to understand, let alone fix. These are the villains lurking inside our apps, making them break from the inside out.
So this all begs a really important question, right? If these problems are so common, why are they so ridiculously hard for developers to find and fix? Why does it feel like they're flying completely blind? The answer really boils down to one key concept, a lack of observability. Let's go back to our city analogy. It's like trying to solve a citywide traffic jam, but you have 0 traffic cameras, no news helicopters, no real-time maps, nothing. You know there's a problem somewhere, but you have absolutely no way to see where it is or what started it.
And the complexity here runs deep. I mean, really deep. The very methods that are used to get all these different parts of an app to talk to each other are incredibly nuanced. As you can see from this Reddit comment, even the experts get into these detailed discussions about how data flows. Without the right tools, seeing what's really happening inside is next to impossible.
Okay, let's look at a perfect, real-world example of this exact challenge, the dreaded cold start. You've definitely experienced this. It's that mysterious, frustrating delay when you try to use a feature that hasn't been touched in a while, and it has to sort of wake up.
Now, what's absolutely fascinating is where the blame for this usually lies. For years, developers would point their fingers at the big cloud platforms, but the data shows something else entirely. In many cases, over 90% of that lag is hidden inside the application's own code. The problem is sitting right there, but it's totally invisible without the right tools to see it.
So, if anti-patterns are the villains causing all this chaos, what's the solution? Well, let's meet the heroes of our story, design patterns. These are the good guys.
Our first hero is called distributed tracing. Now, this is so cool. When you make a request in an app, let's say you're buying a product, this pattern gives that single request its own unique ID, basically a passport.
And that passport gets stamped by every single microservice it interacts with on its journey.
So this unique passport follows the request's entire journey, from service 1 to service 2 and all the way through the system. All these stamps get collected, creating a complete travel itinerary. Now, developers can look at that itinerary and see the exact path, how long the request spent at each stop, and pinpoint the exact source of any delay. It's a total game changer. No more flying blind.
Our other heroes are metrics. Now, if tracing is all about following one person's specific journey through the city, metrics are about understanding the health of the entire city all at once. It's like having a real-time health dashboard with sensors on every building, every road, every power line.
And you actually need two kinds of metrics to get the full picture. On one hand, you've got application metrics, which track what the citizens, the users, are experiencing. Are they seeing errors? Is the app slow for them? Then you have infrastructure metrics, which track the city's machinery. Is the power grid overloaded? Are the servers at 100% capacity? You need both to truly understand what's going on.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? How should this change how we think about the software we build and use every single day?
It all points to a really fundamental shift in mindset. We have to move away from being constantly reactive, just chasing down symptoms and applying band-aids. That just creates a fragile system. Instead, the goal is to be proactive, to think like an architect, and use these patterns to design systems that are resilient from the ground up. Because ultimately, building great software isn't just about writing clever code. It's about being a thoughtful architect. It's about designing a digital city that not only works today, but is also built to grow and adapt tomorrow without descending into total chaos. How you build is every bit as important as what you build.
So, we'll leave you with this thought. The next time your favorite app starts to glitch out, think back to our city. Are you seeing the aftermath of a distributed monolith? A massive traffic jam from some chatty microservices. Now that you know the villains, what anti-pattern do you think is hiding in plain sight?